Good morning, students. Happy morning to all. Corporate Law of 3rd semester BCom of Davangere University. Today I am explaining session 23. Module 3 Managerial Personnel of a Company. Topics covered: appointment, position, rights, duties and liabilities of a directors. The objectives of this session is to understand the concept of appointment, position, rights, duties and liabilities of a directors. In the previous session, we discussed in regarding to the meaning and definition of a directors and company secretary. Session outcomes: after studying this session, you should be able to understand, explain the concepts of appointment, position, rights, duties and liabilities of a directors. Now first start with the appointment of directors. How on what basis the directors can be appointed? These are the ways the directors must be appointed, either by the promoters of the company or by the subscribers of the memorandum or by the shareholders in a general meeting or by the board of directors or by the central government or by the proportional representation or by the third parties. These are the ways to appoint the directors. Appointment of a director in a company shall be pursuant to provisions of Companies Act 2013. In accordance with the Companies Act 2013, every company shall have a certain number of directors. The minimum number of directors is fixed according to the different types of companies. A public company shall have at least 3 directors, a private company shall have at least 2 directors, and a one-person company shall have at least 1 director. The upper limit is fixed at 15. However, a company needs to pass a special resolution if it wants to have more than 15 directors. Members of the company at general meeting appoint or reappoint directors in case of director retiring by rotation of a public company or regularize the director appointed by the board as an additional director unless the articles provide for the retirement of all directors at every annual general meeting. Not less than 2/3 of the total number of directors of a public company shall be persons whose period of office is liable to determination by retirement of directors by rotation and be appointed by the company in general meeting. 1/3 of such of the directors for the time being as liable to retire by rotation, or if their number is neither 3 nor a multiple of 3, then the number nearest to 1/3 shall retire from office. Now let us start with the position of directors. There are 3 positions of a director. First one is directors as agents, next directors as trustees, next directors as managing partners. First one, directors as agents. It has been held that directors are agents of the company. As the company is an artificial person, it can act through directors only. Ferguson versus Wilson, 1904. The relation of a director and company is like an ordinary relation of principal and agent. In the case of Indian Overseas Bank versus RM Marketing in 2002, it was held that the directors of a company could not be made liable merely because he is a director, as he has not given any personal guarantee for a loan that has been taken by the company. As directors are the agents of the company and agents share a relationship as such the directors are not personally liable for any transaction held on behalf of the company. Further, the directors have to disclose any personal interest vested in the company. Second one, directors as trustees. Directors are not the trustees of the company, but they are treated as trustees where money and properties are involved as it is under their control. In the case of Ramaswamy Iyer versus Brahmya and Company in the year 1965, it was held that in terms of their power of applying funds of the company and for misuse of power, their directors are liable as trustees, and even after their death, the liability remains as a cause of action survives against their legal representative. Directors can be described as trustees due to their nature of the office, as directors are appointed to manage the affairs of the company for the benefit of shareholders. The director of a company is not a trustee in his true form as a trustee of will or marriage settlement, as the director of the company is a paid officer of a company. Next, third one, directors as organs of corporate body. It has been stated that the board of directors is the brain of the company and a company does its act through them. Bath versus Standard Land Company Limited. As a corporation has no mind or body of its own and its action is done by a person that is not merely an agent or trustee but by someone the company will be liable as his action is the action of the company itself. If a company is considered as human body, the directors are the mind and the will of the company as they control the actions of the company. Next, we pass on to the rights of directors. The first and foremost is inspecting books of accounts as per mentioned under section 209 subsection 4. Next, receiving notices of the board meetings according to section 285. Next, participating in courses and casting votes in favor or against resolutions as stated in section 300. Receiving circular resolutions aimed to be passed. Next, as per section 289, the directors are given the right to inspect movements of the board meetings. Next, rights of directors. There are major collective rights given to the directors of a company. They are as follows. The first one is right to decline to transfer of shares. Directors of private companies and public companies are empowered to deny registration of transfer of shares to an individual whom they don't approve. This is according to section 311 of the Act. Next, right to choose a chairman. Regulation 76 subsection 1 of table A grants that the directors are authorized to select a chairman for the board meetings. Next, appointing a managing director. The board has the power to designate the managing director or manager as specified in the act of the company. Next, recommending dividend. The board is also authorized to determine whether dividend is to be paid or not. Shareholders cannot force the directors to pay dividend. However, they can decrease the rate of prescribed dividend. Payment of dividend is the advantages of the board. Next, come to the duties of directors. There are two duties, statutory duties and general duties. The following are the duties and liabilities have been imposed on the directors of the company by the Indian Companies Act of 2013 under its section 166. A director of a company shall act in accordance with the articles of association of the company. A director of the company shall act in good faith in order to promote the objects of the company for the benefits of the company as whole and in the best interests of the shareholders of the company. A director of a company shall exercise his duties with due and reasonable care, skill, and diligence and shall exercise independent judgment. A director of a company shall not involve in a situation in which he may have a direct or indirect interest that conflicts or possibly may conflict with the interest of the company. A director of a company shall not achieve or attempt to achieve any undue gain or advantage either to himself or to his relatives, partners, or associates, and if such director is found guilty of making any undue gain, he shall be liable to pay an amount equal to that gain to the company. A director of a company shall not assign his office, and any assignment so made shall be void. If a director of the company contravenes the provisions of this section, such director shall be punishable with a fine which shall not be less than 1 lakh rupees but which may extend to 5 lakhs rupees. Next come to the liabilities of a director. There are few liabilities are there. The first one, liability to outsiders. Next, liabilities to the company. Next, liability to the shareholders, and criminal liability. First, liabilities to the outsiders. There are personally liable to outsider parties in the following cases. When they are enter into contract on behalf of company, if contracts are ultra vires of the company, the act outside the scope of the company, scope of their own authority, the act in their own name and not for and on behalf of the company. When they issue prospectus in violation of the provisions of the Companies Act which contains misstatements, when they found guilty or fraud, when they allot shares in irregular manner, when their liability becomes unlimited under section 322 and 323. Next, liabilities to the company cases are negligent in the performance of their duty and the company suffers losses, acts ultra vires their power or the company, breach of trust. Next, liabilities to shareholders. They work as trustee of the company's property. They will be liable if breach of duty. Wrongfully use their rights. Personally liable if shareholders suffer loss. Statutory defaults. Directors are liable for consequences of the following situations: failure to distribute dividend within 30 days of declaration, imprisonment up to 3 years, section 207, knowingly participating or voting in board proceedings under section 300, fine up to rupees 50,000, and section 300 subsection 4. Fails to disclose interest under section 299, fine up to rupees 50,000, section 283 subsection 1 subsection 1. Knowingly become party by contravening section 295, fine up to rupees 50,000 or imprisonment up to 6 months. Criminal liability. Remember, all offences under any economic legislation is tried in a criminal court. Section 44 subsection 4, filing of prospectus containing untrue statements, 2 years imprisonment and or fine up to rupees 50,000. Section 58A subsection 6 subsection B, inviting deposits in contravention of the rules or manner or conditions 5 years imprisonment and fine. Section 58A, subsection 10, failure to repay deposits as ordered by the CLB 3 years imprisonment. Section 63, criminal liability for misstatement in prospectus, imprisonment up to 2 years or fine up to rupees 50,000 or both. Section 68, fraudulently inducing persons to invest money, imprisonment up to 5 years or fine up to rupees 1 lakh. Criminal liability, section 73, failure to repay excess application money, imprisonment up to 1 year and fine up to rupees 50,000. Section 105, concealing name of creditor, imprisonment up to 1 year or fine or both. Section 202, subsection 1, undischarged insolvent acting as director, imprisonment up to 2 years or fine up to rupees 50,000 or both. Section 207, default in distributing dividends, imprisonment up to 3 years and fine up to rupees 1,000 for every day. Section 209A, failure to assist registrar or any officer so authorized by the central government in inspection of books of account, etc., imprisonment up to 1 year and fine not less than rupees 50,000. Next, criminal liability. Section 210, subsection 5, failure to lay balance, etc., at an annual general meeting, imprisonment up to 6 months or fine up to rupees 10,000 or both. Section 211, subsection 8, failure to compel, section 211, regarding from of balance sheet and matters to be stated, imprisonment up to 6 months or fine up to 10,000. Section 217, subsection 5, failure to attach to balance sheet a report of to the board of imprisonment up to 6 months for each offence or fine up to rupees 20,000 or both. Section 221, subsection 4, failure to supply information to auditor, in imprisonment up to 6 months or fine up to rupees 50,000 or both. Section 250, subsection 9, improper issue of shares, imprisonment up to 6 months or fine up to rupees 50,000 or both. Under offences by companies, if the person contravening any of the said provisions is a company, every person who at the time of the offence was committed was in charge of and was responsible to the company for the conduct of the business of the company, as well as the company, shall be deemed to be guilty of the contravention and shall be liable to be proceeded against and punished accordingly. So this is an end of this session, that is summary of the session. By explaining all the concepts of appointment, position, rights and duties, liabilities of directors. The board of directors consists of part-time directors and whole-time directors. Part-time directors are those who only attend board meetings and contribute to the framing of policies and decision making in the board meetings. Whole-time directors, as the name itself implies, devote whole time and are treated as employees. Similar is the position of managing director, and this category of directors are entrusted with substantial powers of management to look after the day-to-day affairs of the company. So in this session we know about the detailed discussion in regarding to the every aspects of the